He had been ordered to lower his pike for no man living. Then he saw the man who had taught him how to hold one. The frost came early to Whitehall that morning, thin and mean, clinging to timber, settling into joints, finding its way through glove and cloth and bone. Elias Harrow felt it in the ash shaft of his pike before he felt it in his fingers. The wood held the cold like a grudge. "Hold the line," came the order again, not shouted, never shouted, said in that flat way that meant it had already been decided for you. Elias adjusted his grip, boots planted, jaw set, breath white in the air. He knew his place in the line. He had learned that the hard way, through mud, through noise, through men who did not stay upright long enough to argue. No breach, no speeches, no man through. It was a simple morning, that was the lie. The scaffold stood behind him, dark timber, squared, deliberate, already damp where the frost had begun to melt, rope coiled, block waiting, clean work they called it, clean as a ledger. Elias did not turn to look at it again. He knew what was there, he had known for days. He watched the crowd instead. They came in layers, wool and breath, hats pulled low, hands hidden in sleeves, some quiet, some already muttering prayers through cracked lips, some looking not at the scaffold at all, but at each other, measuring. England, he thought, had never learned how to stand still without leaning. The press thickened, bodies edged forward, testing the space, testing the line. The pikes answered, subtle shifts, a forest of ash and iron, reminding them where they ended. "Back!" Elias said. He did not raise his voice. He did not need to. His tone carried the weight of a man who had said it before and meant it each time. The front rank shuffled, a shoulder turned, a boot scraped, a man coughed into his sleeve. And then, there he was. No shout, no drama. Just a face where no face should be. Hat off, hair gone thin and white, cheeks raw from the cold, standing too close, as if the frost itself had pushed him forward. Matthew Harrow. Elias did not move. Not at first. The pike stayed level. The line held. Then his grip shifted. Just a fraction. Of course it was him. Of course it would be him. If there was a place in England where a man might come to suffer on purpose, his father would find it. Matthew looked up. Recognition was not slow. It struck clean, eye to eye, no mistake. Elias felt it in the stomach first, a tightening, not fear, something worse, something older. He spoke to the crowd. "Back!" The word landed where it always landed, on everyone and no one. Matthew answered like it had been said to him alone. "You point that at me now, boy." Not loud, not theatrical, said as one might remark on the weather turning poor. Elias kept his eyes forward. That was the rule. That was how you survived things that wanted to become something else. "Step back." "Is that how it is?" Matthew said. "Steel and wood between us?" A man nearby shifted, glancing from father to son. Another leaned in. Curiosity spreads faster than fire when it smells something human. Elias felt the eyes begin to gather. He did not look at his father. He spoke past him. "Keep the line." Matthew gave a small breath of something like a laugh, though there was no humor in it. "I taught you to stand straight," he said. "Not like this." Elias swallowed. The cold helped. It made everything tighter, smaller, easier to hold in. "You taught me many things." "And you chose which to keep," Matthew replied. That landed, clean, quiet, worse than anger. Behind them, the scaffold creaked. Someone tested the boards. The sound carried. Matthew's eyes flicked toward it. Not long, just enough. "They will make a martyr of him," he said. Elias answered at once, too quickly. "They will make an end." "An end," Matthew repeated, as if tasting the word and finding it thin. "You think ends come so neatly, Elias?" A murmur rolled through the front. A woman crossed herself. A man muttered something about judgment. Another spat. Elias felt the shift, the weight of attention. The line was no longer just a line. It was a stage. "Back," he said again, sharper now. Matthew did not move. "Say it to me proper," the old man said. "Not to them, to me." Elias turned his head. At last. Their eyes met again. Closer now. Too close. "Step back," Elias said. Matthew searched his face, not for weakness, for something else, something older than war. "You still want me to think you're a good man," he said softly. Elias said nothing. That was answer enough. The crowd leaned. A voice somewhere. "That's his father." Another. "Look at him! Won't even move him." The press tightened. Boots nudged forward, shoulders edged. The line felt it. Elias lifted the pike a fraction, not a threat, a reminder. Back! Matthew lowered his voice. Look aside, he said. One breath. Let me nearer. Let me see him as a man, not as this thing they've made of him. Elias felt his throat go dry. One breath, Matthew said. That is all I ask of you, not as a soldier, as my son. There it was, not shouted, not dressed in scripture, simple, small, impossible. Elias glanced left. A fellow guard, Renshaw, was watching, not openly, just enough, a man who knew when something had begun to go wrong. Beyond him, an officer turned slightly, not yet concerned, but near enough. The world had narrowed. Pike, father, eyes. No, Elias said. It came out clean, harder than he felt. Matthew closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, something had settled. Then stand, he said. Stand and see what you hold back. A hush moved through the crowd like wind through dry grass. Heads turned. The king was coming. No drum now, no chatter, just that strange pulling silence when many people decide, all at once, to look. Elias did not look. He watched his father. Matthew's face changed, not in anger, in grief, bare, unhidden, the kind that does not perform because it has no need to. His lips moved, prayer, not for himself. Elias felt something shift in his chest, not break, shift. Then Matthew stepped forward, not a lunge, not a rush, just a man moving toward what he had come to see. Elias moved without thinking. The pike came across, wood against cloth, a dull, solid stop against his father's chest. Matthew halted. For a moment, they were fixed like that. Scaffold beyond, pike between, breath hanging in the air. Matthew looked down at the shaft, then back up. So, he said, quiet now, tired. There it is. Elias held it firm, hands steady, arms locked. Behind them, a voice spoke, formal, distant, words about justice, about law, about necessity. Elias did not hear them. They have had the king, Matthew said. Now they have you. The words did not strike. They settled. Elias's grip faltered. Just a fraction. The pike dipped, not enough to free him, not enough to be seen, unless you were looking for it. Matthew felt it. Of course he did. Their eyes met one last time. Then a sound, not clean, not neat, a crack of something done that could not be undone. The crowd broke, not forward, outward, voices rising, some shouting, some weeping, some calling the word martyr as if it might hold the thing together. Someone retched, someone laughed, someone fell to their knees. Elias did not turn. He shoved his father sideways, hard enough to move him, not hard enough to hurt. Go, he said low through his teeth, before they see you, before they see me. Matthew staggered, caught himself, looked once more as if to speak, then didn't. He turned, pushed into the side press, vanished into wool and breath and frost. Gone. Elias brought the pike back up, level, straight, as it had been. Renshaw looked at him, said nothing. The officer did not come. The line held. It always did. Elias stood where he had been told to stand, ash shaft in his hands, the cold biting deeper now, and tried, honestly tried, to tell whether he was still holding order together, or only himself.